Everyone thinks he was just a helpless boy from a poor village, but in the end, he becomes the greatest king in history. A long time ago, a man named Graha rose from an unknown child to become the conqueror of the whole world. No one could stand before him, and anyone who went against him was wiped off the face of the earth without mercy. But with all the power in the world, there was no happiness in his life because he was alone. Then, one day, suddenly, he feels himself drowning in a deep ocean, and a voice tells him to look for the light in his next life. The king realizes that he has died. Immediately, in the next moment, he closes his eyes in a dark room and opens them with two strangers hovering over his head. They call him Arthur and comment to each other how much their son looks like them, even though he has no idea who they are or where he is. He realizes that he has been reincarnated as the great king with all the memories and wisdom of his past life. And now Arthur is just a mere child. He finds his new life to be very low level. He can't control his body much and acts like a little child, and is embarrassed when his parents change his diaper. One day, Arthur sees that his father is using magic to strengthen his body so that he can work in the fields more comfortably, and his mother treats him with care when he eats small things. This is the first thing that makes Arthur excited about this new world, and he learns that this world is not Earth, because it has magic. Soon, Arthur learns that his father is an adventurer who often goes hunting monsters with his friends. He guesses that this place must be very dangerous when everyone here is allowed to carry weapons, so he decides that he must become strong as soon as possible so that he can protect himself. But this day is still far away, because right now he is just a baby who falls asleep instantly when his mother sings him a lullaby. Soon he gets over his little anxiety and starts to enjoy these quiet moments because in his previous life, he always slept under the threat of a deadly attack. A few months pass, and Arthur finally starts to crawl around the house, pretending to be asleep so his mother will leave him alone, and then sneaking into the house library where he reads books to find information about the world. He discovers that there is a village in the north of the country where he lives. In the east, humans have their own country of El, which is ruled by a king. But unlike his previous life, there is no fight for the throne here. It is the king's son who becomes the next king. Then he reads another book which talks about magic, and Arthur understands that it is because of this magic that the world is so far behind in science and technology. He comes to know that only about 1% of people can use magic, and a human's magic capacity depends on his parents' capacity. This book tells that there are mainly two types of magic users. First are the augmenters, who use mana to increase their physical ability. Some of them increase their mana to a great extent and fight like warriors. Others are casters who can project their mana outside of their body like sorcerers do. Arthur realizes that his father is an augmenter, but he thinks his mother is not a typical user because her healing powers seem different. He doesn't think much about it and reads about how to become a magic user in a book. The book tells that in order to use magic, one needs to have a magic core, which is formed when the mana inside a person's body is concentrated at a single point. People often learn to use it after puberty. They start to create a magic core, and it takes years to create a strong one. But Arthur already knew about such a concept in his old life. In that world, he controlled the energy inside his body, called Kai, and creating a key core was like creating a magic core. Arthur starts to focus the mana inside his body into one place, hoping to take the first step of power in his new life. But just as he is about to create his first magic core, his mother grabs him and puts him back into bed. 2 years pass in the blink of an eye. One day, when Arthur's mother is away and the father is busy writing in his diary, Arthur goes outside and starts learning sword fighting from his father. He attacks the father with a wooden sword, repeatedly swinging it as if it were a real sword. Then his mother comes out and gets very angry with her husband for making her hold a sword to a child who has just learned to walk. Just now, they taught him how to walk and handed him a sword. All this is not new for Arthur, who has now realized that the real boss of this house is his mother. His mother often takes him to nearby cities, and Arthur is always happy to go there because he gets to learn a lot about this world. He shows interest in everything from weapons to weird things, but he is most excited about magic. Staying in the city gives him a great opportunity to see magic closely. Apart from all these journeys, Arthur leads a quiet life with his parents. Even though he has to face difficulties, Arthur feels trapped in a child's body. But slowly he starts to like his peaceful life. His parents take care of his every need, and this reminds him of his past life as an orphan where he had longed for a family, but that wish was never fulfilled. One day, Arthur sees his father practicing magic, trying to strengthen his mana core. Arthur gets very excited to see him, but his father can only pick up a few stones from the ground. Arthur is not impressed at all by the mana. He thinks this is a modeling game, might as well have picked up the stones with your hands. His mother comes to him and says that his father has not given his best efforts. Then his father again concentrates completely, and to impress his wife, he performs one powerful attack after another, which shakes the ground. This time, Arthur is really impressed with his father's skill. His mother is sure that when he grows up, he will become a great warrior. Arthur wants to try immediately, but his mother wakes him up and puts him to sleep. On the way, when he passes by the library, Arthur requests his mother to let him read books. At first, his mother refuses to do so, but when she looks at him with an innocent look, she agrees. Finally, she leaves him alone in the library and goes out to her husband. Arthur then starts focusing all the mana in his body in one place, as he had been trying to do for the past 2 years. He feels that he is now very close to using magic. And then, suddenly, his mana core is formed, which causes a massive explosion that blows up the whole house. Arthur's father gets injured while saving his wife. Both of them panic to see if their son is in danger. But when they go inside and look, they see a huge explosion. But Arthur does not believe it. A golden light floats in the air. Arthur gives them a confident smile and tells them that he can do magic now. He lands on the ground and starts walking toward them. But then a piece of paper falls beside him. He gets scared and thinks that this might be the last moment of his life. But both his parents jump toward him to save him. Arthur then understands that it is his parents' responsibility to keep him safe. But when both of them start crying, Arthur is surprised. He had never felt such an emotion in his past life. With other children, the parents either show pride or despair, never shedding tears as they think it is a new realization. Arthur also starts crying, clinging to his mother, without thinking. A few years pass, and now Arthur has become a little boy who is learning combat skills from his father, Reynold. Arthur and his father stand face to face in the garden where his father wants to give him his glyphs. But Arthur refuses because he knows that at this age he does not have the strength to handle them. Instead, he picks up a wooden sword, and his father does the same. Arthur immediately springs into action and kills him 3 times in a row. Playfully, Arthur tries to attack, but his father is much stronger and easily blocks every attack. Arthur understands that his father is reinforcing his sword with magic, so he also fills his mana into the wooden sword. After a while, he again attacks his father, and this time his attack is so strong that his father's sword breaks. Arthur smiles and says that his wood is better than his father's wood. But his father makes an excuse, saying that stamina matters more than strength. Father realizes that Arthur is a genius. That's why he takes the difficult decision of talking to his wife about sending Arthur to a good teacher outside the city. But his mother Alice is totally against this decision. She doesn't want to separate her cute son from herself, especially when he is only 4 years old. Reynolds says that 4 years old is a good age. She is more powerful than that and should get trained by a skilled guide. But before they can reach a decision, Arthur speaks up and says that they should go together rather than create so much trouble. No matter how the idea seems useless, both parents immediately agree, probably because their world still doesn't know how to take care of a house. A few days later, Alice and Reynolds' old party members come to go with them on the trip, and Arthur meets them. In their parents' old group, there were a lot of skilled adventurers. The leader of this group was a tall, strong woman named Angela Darden, an average-looking man and skilled archer named Helen, and Jasmine, a pixie-type girl who for some reason suspects Arthur. Soon, everyone starts walking, and Arthur realizes that the transport in this world is still very primitive, while in his previous world, people roamed by airships. After a while, everyone stops and sits down to eat, but then some Felia monsters come out of the jungle. Jasmine immediately jumps into action, grabbing 2 daggers and slashing every Felia that comes in her way. Reynolds, Adams, and Helen also kill a few more wolves with their weapons. Darden and Angela use their magic and destroy the remaining monsters. That night, everyone starts cooking and eating the monsters. After a while, Alice notices that Reynolds' hand is still bleeding, so she starts to treat him. The rest of the party members immediately stand up and form a protection circle around the two. Arthur is shocked, but then he realizes that Alice is a special magician who has healing magic.